Welcome back. The top stories continue here on Myanmar International. I'm Randolf Jamias. At the invitation of upper and lower houses of Australia Parliament speakers, Myanmar Hluttaw delegation led by Pidang Su and Amuta Hluttaw Speaker Uki Ami paid a goodwill visit to Australia. They arrived at Sydney on the 6th of October via Thailand. At the Sydney International Airport, they were welcomed by Myanmar Ambassador to Australia, Upol Rinsain, and Director of International Liaison Office of Australia Parliament, Mr. Andrew Slump, and officials. On the 7th, Myanmar Party cruised along Sydney Port. Australian Parliament Representative Chief Government Whip Honourable Joel Fitzgibbon hosted a luncheon on the vessel. On the 8th, Myanmar delegation attended Australia-Myanmar Business Task Force opening ceremony held by Asia Link at the Course Chamber's Westgard Governor Philip Tower. On the occasion, the Pidang Su Hluttaw speaker gave a speech. He also discussed on mutual cooperation for the progress of education, social and economic sectors of Myanmar. He also received interviews by Australian Broadcasting Corporation and explained about Myanmar's reform process. From there, the Pidang Su Hluttaw speaker and party visited Sydney University. Director of Sydney Southeast Asian Centre, Professor Michelle Ford, explained about the salient points of the university. The Pidang Su Hluttaw speaker replied that he is impressed of the academic affairs of the university, research works, and the library. He expressed his desire to send Myanmar students for further studies to promote their education standard. Speaker Pidang Su Hluttaw and members also met with Governor of New South Wales, Professor Marie Bashir. At the meeting, the governor said he has been in touch with personnel, scholars, and diplomats from Myanmar and found that Myanmar people are hospitable. The existence of Myanmar in the Asia-Pacific region benefits much, and he hoped to make mutually beneficial cooperation in the region. The Australians are still remembering the help of Myanmar people to Australian soldiers during the World War II. He expressed his hope to cooperate with Myanmar, especially in science and education sectors in the future. The Pidang Su Hluttaw speaker said that the diplomatic relations between the two countries will turn 60 years next year. Australia is the first country that declared lifting of sanctions on Myanmar to support the country's reform process. It signifies that Australia is a friendly nation with Myanmar. Myanmar is situated in a strategic place, which is at the heart of the South and Southeast Asia. As a result, the relations between Australia and Myanmar will play a critical part in terms of the region's political and economic affairs. For the establishment of democracy system, society needs to be changed. In doing so, Myanmar people must be educated and enjoy high income. So he invited Australian investors, and he would like to send Myanmar students to Australian universities. Only then, Myanmar's human resource will be developed. Jobs can be created by investing in many sectors such as oil and gas and SME sectors. Technology transfer will also benefit Myanmar. As agriculture and breeding industries are booming in Australia, it will benefit both countries if mutually beneficial cooperation can be made. The governor said that he will inform Sydney University and other Australian universities to provide scholarship to Myanmar students. Discussion will be made with faculties and to make investment in university education. Measures will be also taken for the nurses and doctors from Myanmar to be able to make further studies in Australia. The Pidang Su Hluttaw speaker and party later visited Council of Australian Government's Reform Council, where they studied about the transactions between central government and regional governments, accountabilities, taxation, and budget allocation. On the 9th, Uki Ami visited Port Kembla Coal Terminal in Wollongong and studied systematic control measures not to harm the environment and public health. At Wollongong City Hall, the Mayor and Councillor Gordon Bradbury OAM hosted the lunch and explained sharing of responsibility between central government and regional government for city development program. Pidang Su Hluttaw speaker and party also viewed the protection of natural environment and endangered species at Fitzroy Waterfalls. They then went to Kinbarra in the evening. On the 10th, they visited Australia Parliament's library, upper house and lower house offices. Uki Ami also discussed with senators of upper and lower houses, explaining them the activities of Myanmar Hluttaw's investment opportunity, tourism promotion, further studies for Myanmar students in Australia, and exchange visits for Hluttaw staff. Both senators of upper and lower houses agreed for cooperation in Hluttaw's activities and also to provide assistance through UNDP and AusAid. Ukhiami and party also made a tour to Old Parliament House. On the 11th, Myanmar delegation members exchanged views and experiences with members of Australia Senate Committee and Foreign Affairs, Security and Trade Committee. Ukhiami and party next visited Australian National Library, which is one of the biggest libraries in the southern world. They also went to AusAid office. At the office, the first Assistant Director General of AusAid East Asia Department said that the assistance to Myanmar has increased to 64 million Australian dollars. Arrangements are being made to increase up to 100 million Australian dollars in 2014. For those plans, MOUs are being signed with respective ministries. There is a plan to assist Myanmar education and health sectors. The Bidang Hluttaw Speaker invited help for Myanmar's poverty alleviation programs. Only when the public's socioeconomic lives become better will the democracy system be strong. 70% of the population is rural people and farmers. The farmers need agricultural investment and loans as well as quality strains, chemical fertilizers, and scientific cultivation methods. If the farmers will be rich, the country will be rich. To gain job opportunity, investors are being invited for mutual benefits and cooperation. To have a strong democratic system, reciprocal delegation trips among the two countries' parliaments should be arranged. In building the Myanmar Hluttaw Library, online link to Australia Parliament's library should be established. He also invited assistance for writing master plan for promoting Myanmar education sector. In the evening, the Bidang Hluttaw Speaker and party left Canberra and arrived at Melbourne Airport. On the 12th, they visited Australian Broadcasting Corporation in Melbourne, where the Bidang Hluttaw Speaker entertained interviews at ABC News. They also observed Minerals Administration Company, where officials explained about the operations of the company. They attended a dinner hosted by Speaker of Victoria Province Parliament, Honourable Ken Smith, held at Earring Station. The Bidang Hluttaw Speaker and party left Melbourne International Airport for home. They were seen off at the Melbourne Airport by Myanmar Ambassador to Australia, Upal Winsane, Director of Australian Parliament International Relationship, Andres Lomb, and officials. Union Minister for Environmental Conservation and Forestry, Ubintun, went to Norway from 9 to 12 October. The minister discussed with Norwegian Minister for Environment Affairs on bilateral cooperation. Both ministers answered the interviews on cooperation works between the two countries at NRK Broadcasting Corporation. The minister also visited University of Life Science, Norwegian Forest and Landscape Institute in Oslo, and CIENS Research Department of Oslo University. The minister discussed on conservation of wetlands in Inle and Indoji lakes. Norwegian Foreign Minister appreciated Myanmar's reform progress and discussed on promotion of bilateral cooperations. In other news, modern education is a must for a growing economy. Rewriting new syllabuses for primary and middle education, extended compilation for geography and history subjects, integrating attitude and people's ethics in school lessons, reviewing the syllabuses should be carried out in education sector. Union Minister for Education Dr. Mya Aye instructed at the coordination meeting held at the ministry in Naypyidaw on 15 October. Director General of Education Planning and Training Department, Ubo Win, explained about the plans to be implemented for rewriting the syllabuses. Deputy Minister Ue Mi-chu elaborated on it. Union Minister attended to the needs of the sector. And finally, movies and actors are all parts of an evolving entertainment industry in Myanmar. Deputy Minister for Information U Peik Htwe attended a ceremony to commemorate Myanmar Motion Picture Day and a tribute to the elderly artists of Myanmar Motion Picture Association, held at the association's office in Yangon on 13 October. The Deputy Minister, together with artists Bogalay Uti Aung, Domimi Khin, and Dosan Shatin, formally opened the ceremony to commemorate Myanmar Motion Picture Day. At the tribute for elderly artists, Myanmar Motion Picture Association donated 100,000 chats, and Shwetan Win Company donated 100,000 chats for each of 143 veteran artists. In the afternoon, they entertained with the opera entitled Motion Picture Traveler, directed by Chi So-tun, and an oldest movie, Mya Aye. In the evening, they held a ceremony to honor Myanmar Motion Picture Day at Sedona Hotel in Yangon. Lifelong Film Achievement Award winner Uti Nhu and city title recipients film legends Bogale Uti Aung, Aung Mya, Chi So-tun, Do Mi Khin, Do San Shatin, and Don Wei San, and some other film stars received honor of Myanmar Motion Picture Association in the evening. And that ends the stories for the national news right here on Myanmar International. I'm Randolf Jamias, and thank you for watching.